Welcome everyone to today's class. If you could just make sure that you all have with you 2 blocks, 2 blankets, a strap, a bolster and a chair for those who feel they would be using a chair today. Also some accessible wall space if you feel you would like to lean on that a little later for some support through some of our more challenging poses and balancing poses. If you need to use the bathroom or for refreshments, out the door to the right, you'll see the kitchen, and just behind that is the bathrooms, and out the door to our left, back down the stairs which you came in, and across the road is the meeting point in case of any emergency evacuation procedures. So today's class will be focusing on being gentle with our knees. So anyone with any knee conditions, knee injuries, or just general old wear or tear, maybe through age or old injuries around the knees, this class will be really suitable for you and will hopefully give you some ideas of how to manage your yoga poses to accommodate for your knees a little better. So this class aims to improve your range of mobility, improve your balance, build strength, and will incorporate some weight bearing also into today's class. We'll start with some gentle warm-ups to prepare the body for movement. Just to remind you all that if anything I instruct today or suggest does not feel comfortable within your body or feels outside of your limitations, beyond your limitations today, please adjust as needed. Give me a wave if you need some extra support. Feel free to skip out any poses, modify any poses, or come into a rest pose at any point throughout the practice. Those of you with any medical conditions, thank you for letting me know prior to class, but I also suggest that you seek medical professionals' advice for anything which may be persisting with you. And with our yoga practice, we hope to create lifestyle balance through yoga and self-awareness. I'll start with some belly breathing. But before we do, just ensure you do have all those props I suggested before and come to a comfortable seat. My suggestion would be Sukhasana, so sitting easy cross leg. If that does not feel easy for you, please use some props either underneath the knees or some height underneath the hips to make that pose more accessible. Or of course, sitting on a chair if that feels best for you today, or a block. And once you're ready, we'll begin with some pranayama to bring our awareness more into our bodies, to our breath specifically, with some deep belly breathing. If at any point throughout pranayama you feel any tension through the back of the eyes, tension in the head, or any uneasiness, any tightness through the chest, please cease and just allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm. Softly closing down the eyes or keeping a lowered gaze with a soft focus out in front. Become aware of your natural breath. As you inhale and exhale through the nose, notice where the breath lands in your body. Does it feel like it's a shallow breath landing in the upper chest? Or is it already perhaps a deeper breath landing more in the belly? Without changing, just simply observing to begin. Noticing the speed of your breath, the rhythm of your breath. Maybe there's a direct correlation between the rhythm of your breath and the activities of your mind. How is the quality of your breath in this moment? simply observing. And on your next inhale, take a deeper breath, draw that breath right in, feel the belly start to expand out in all directions. And exhale, a nice long, steady breath. And as you inhale once again, feel that breath drawing right down deep into the belly. And followed by that nice, long, slow exhalation. Continue deep belly breathing for about 5 more rounds of breath in your own time. And allowing the breath now to return to a natural rhythm. Remaining seating in Sukhasana. Some gentle neck stretches, dropping the chin to the chest as you exhale. As you inhale, letting the chest lift, gently tilting the head back as far as feels comfortable for you. Exhale, slowly lower the chin to the chest. Inhale to lift, head tilts back. Exhale. And inhale back to center. Inhale, turn the chin to the right. Eyes can remain open or closed. Exhale, center. Inhale, chin to the left. Feel the neck, notice any tension or any release you might be feeling. Exhale, center to the right. And center to the left. And center. We'll now tilt the right ear to the right shoulder. This might feel enough for you, dropping that left shoulder down a little more towards the earth. If you would like a stronger stretch through the left side of your neck, raise that right arm up and over the head to catch the left ear and just apply some gentle pressure there. Keep resisting that left shoulder down away from your ear towards the earth. Keep engaging through those core belly muscles to stay seated, upright, nice and tall. Release the hand, return the head to center, changing sides, left ear, left shoulder. Resist that right shoulder down away from the ear towards the earth. And perhaps again, outstretching that left arm up and over to catch the side of the head towards the right ear. Applying a little more pressure here. Opening up through the right side of the neck. And release, returning the head to center. We'll come now to Paschimottanasana. Any lower back issues or difficulty hinging forward at the hips, I'd like you to sit up on a folded blanket, maybe even a bolster or a block if you need a little more height. Best to avoid this pose if you have any disc injuries. So to come into this pose, we're going to take the legs straight out in front. You might also like some support underneath the backs of the knees. Feet are together or perhaps a little wider apart if that feels better for you. We're gently flexing the toes back towards our face, sitting up tall. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, start to walk the hands forward alongside the legs, coming as far forward as feels right for you. So you start to feel that stretch through the back of the hamstrings and the calves. You might take a strap around the ball of the feet to hold on to. You might just catch onto your legs or the feet themselves. Feel this pose toning the abdominal organs and the kidneys. It's increasing blood supply to our pelvic region and rejuvenating our spine. And it said this pose can help foster feelings of patience, tolerance, and it's a calming pose, Paschimottanasana. So come out, press those hands back into the mat as you walk yourself up, back to an upright seated position. From here, we'll remain seated. You're welcome to lean back on the hands if you need a bit of support here. And just warming up our ankles here, some ankle stretches by pointing and flexing the feet. Just in your own time. Inhale, point the toes away. Exhale, push the heels away, flex the toes back towards your shins. Inhale to point. And exhale. Back. Twice more, synchronizing that breath to your movement. That mind-body connection starts right at the beginning of our practice and helps guide us through, leaving us feeling really centered and grounded at the completion of our practice. And then let's take some ankle circles. So turning the toes out wide, drawing circles with your toes in one direction, and then back the other way. Good. We'll make our way now slowly up to a standing position. So you might swing over to legs to one side or just come on up slowly, gently. And coming to the top of your mat, we'll bring our feet together. And if you have any feelings of lightheadedness at all, low blood pressure, high blood pressure, you might choose not to raise the arms overhead for this one, but keep the arms or hands rather together at your heart center, or arms straight out in front parallel to the floor. As we inhale, we're going to raise those arms straight up for the sky, grounding down through our feet, engaging through our legs, lifting those kneecaps, tilting the tailbone down, feel the pelvic floor muscles lifting, lowering those front floating ribs, lifting up through the heart center, fronts of the shoulders gently guide back, chin to chest to keep an elongated back of the neck, lengthening up through the crown of the head. Arms are engaged, fingers outstretched in a reaching like motion. If the arms are out in front, there's still that feeling of engagement from the fingertips right up to the shoulder girdle. And breathing here, Urdhva Hastasana. Taking another breath in, exhale, slowly lower those arms back down alongside you. So for this next pose, I will show you the variation with a chair for those of you that need that extra support and maybe nursing knees in this class. So we take our chair behind you and stand in Tadasana. We're going to lift the arms up again, like in Urdhva Hastasana, which we've just done, and bend the legs slightly. Roll the flesh of your buttocks down and in, and slowly bend the legs further until you gently come to seated on the edge of your chair. So take a few breaths, maintaining the stretch of your arms and torso, and then slowly straighten the knees back to Urdhva Hastasana. And we'll repeat that a number of times. So this is a great pose for building that strength in the legs, also for balance and toning our core muscles. So again, from standing, bend the legs slightly until you gently sit on your chair, maintaining that stretch of the arms and the torso while seated, and then come back. Inhale up to Urdhva Hastasana. And to release, exhale, slowly lower those arms back down alongside you. So for our next pose, again, we can use a chair to assist us, and or keep a shorter stance between our feet and lessening the bend in the knees. We might also keep our hands at our heart instead of raising the arms up overhead. So what we'll do is we're going to keep that chair out in front of us for this one, to the right side of our mat. You'll need to turn your chair around though, so that the backrest is further away from you. And we're going to stand facing the chair and pop our right leg underneath the backrest. We're going to bend that right leg to around 90 degrees and place our right side of our buttocks on the chair. If you need, you can always put a folded blanket or a block underneath on the seat to adjust the height. And then lift the heel and turn the leg and the pelvis from left to right. Move the left buttock away from the tailbone and the front left groin forward to touch the seat. And that back leg is walked away, just like in the standing variation. Virabhadrasana 1. And to come out, coming out slowly in reverse. We'll come into that pose on the other side. So mindful of knees, however, can avoid this pose, or the chair you will find should hopefully make it more accessible. Mindful of any sacroiliac injuries, in which case we would raise the back heels. Neck problems, keep the neck neutral rather than looking up. In this pose, we'll stretch the psoas, strengthen and stretch the legs, spine, relieve stiff shoulders and neck, and expands our chest. Encouraging deep breathing. For the next pose, any high blood pressure, mindful here, we will have the chair there for support, for balance, and any hip injuries or pain, you might choose to leave this one out. So with that chair in front again, this is there, the right distance away from you, so that you can rest your wrists on the backrest of the chair. And what we want to do is, just standing facing the chair, we're going to slowly start to tilt ourselves forward and placing our wrists, our outer wrists on the backrest, lifting one leg up, keeping that lifted leg flexed until that leg is perpendicular and the torso and arms create a straight and horizontal line. Try to keep the center of gravity right above the front of the heel of the standing foot. And with those wrists against the backrest, allow the shoulder blades to sink into the body while lifting the inner arms and elbows. Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3 pose. You'll feel in this pose, you're strengthening the legs, the abdomen, back muscles, and that will improve your balance and your overall posture. To come out safely, slowly come out in reverse back to standing, to Tadasana. So our next pose, we want to make sure that our knee is always over our ankle to prevent any straining in the ligaments of our knee. And just mindful of your neck where you place your drishti, And any SIJ discomfort you might modify by allowing the top hip to actually roll forward. And so for this one, we'll have the chair again in front. And as we bend our knee for this pose, we'll bring the back of the thigh to resting on the seat of the chair. And gripping the chair from behind can help to roll that upper shoulder back. And it helps to turn the chest up. In this pose, we're strengthening the legs, and as we open our chest, we're expanding the chest, stimulating the lower abdominal organs, and this pose really helps to open tight hips and groin. And to safely come up, inhale, bring yourself back upright, and push up to standing. Moving that chair out of the way. We can heel toe the feet back together. We'll make our way over to the wall now. I'll show you the variation of this pose with the support of the wall. And again, because it is a weight-bearing pose, any wrist injuries or carpal tunnels, you might actually prefer to practice the floor version, but with the forearms on the floor here, or forearms against the wall. So we'll stand at the wall here, placing the hands on the wall, elbows are straight, taking a breath in, and as we exhale, start to bend those elbows, just like as if we were coming down through a push-up pose. Chaturanga Dandasana, Kumbhakasana from Chaturanga Dandasana. We're strengthening our arms, the wrists, the abdomen, and the back muscles here. We'll just repeat this a few times in our own time, just trying that pose with the support at the wall. Now we'll make our way back down to seated. Again, supported by sitting on a bolster or folded blanket, maybe using blocks under the knees here if it's feeling a little strong for the groins. We'll bring the soles of our feet together and draw the heels in towards you, but not beyond the line of your knees. Perhaps blocks under the outer legs there. Supta Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, stretching the hips and the groin. This pose stimulates our kidneys, prostate and bladder. There's increased blood supply to the pelvis and abdomen. When you're ready to come out, using the hands at the backs of the knees to bring those legs back together. And straightening the legs out in front and giving them a bit of a jiggle, leaning back onto the hands or keeping the knees bent, and gently windshield wipering the legs from side to side. And bringing yourself to a comfortable seat for a closing meditation here. Soham meditation. You might choose to take this in Shavasana, otherwise sitting comfortably, sitting tall, sitting on props if needed, and with the eyes softly closed as we inhale or think of or quietly mentally say to ourselves, so, and on the exhale, hum. And a rough translation from Sanskrit is I am that. Inhale so, exhale hum. quietly repeating that mantra internally, mentally to yourself. So and if you're not already, taking your time now to lie back into our final resting pose of Shavasana. Option here to take the legs, our calves up onto a chair. This can be really relaxing for the lower back and our sacrum. If you haven't tried it before, I suggest you give it a try. It won't hurt to do so. It's a really nice variation. And just making some gentle movements now through your hands and your feet as you bring your awareness back into space around you, becoming aware of your body in space, the others that share this space with you now. And rolling over onto one side, gently pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat and sitting together and bringing our hands together in Anjali Mudra at our heart center. So we take a deep breath in, exhale, and once more for Namaste. Inhale, bowing the head to the heart. Namaste. Thank you all for practicing with me and allowing me the honor of guiding you through your practice today. Any questions, please feel free to come and see me after class.